Yep. I don't know who Christina is, so go ahead and admit. Can you scroll back down to Christina for me for 1 second? Does not look like she has, oh, there. She is muted, okay, perfect.
And we have left everyone with the ability to unmute themselves.
Okay. So Mayor, my line is unmuted, and so everybody should be able to hear you through my line.
Okay.
We will admit people throughout, and I've asked the council just to raise their hand when they're ready to speak, and that you can see that they've raised their hand. And if you call on them, then Danica will unmute them.
Can I see that? Or I guess from here, maybe?
Or I can tell you I can see it. If you would prefer, I can.
Well, I'll try and take a look at both.
Yeah.
Do we have a quorum yet?
Yes, we do.
All right. Let me know when you're ready and we'll start.
I am ready.
All right. Good evening. We will call this meeting to order March 16th, 2020. This is a virtual and in-person City Hall Council Chambers City Council meeting. The City Council meeting will be held virtually and in person at Council Chambers. The public is highly encouraged to attend the meeting by clicking on the link or calling into the meeting at the phone number which is provided below, and that number has been provided. So at this point in time, we are going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you are in the room, would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated.
Can you please unmute all the council members?
And Sean, will you please call roll?
Councilmember DeCourcy, or Deputy Mayor DeCourcy.
I'm here.
Councilmember Baggett.
Here.
Councilmember Brown.
Here.
Councilmember Jayraj.
Here.
Councilmember Malenga.
I'm here.
Councilmember Stearns.
Here.
And Councilmember Trout Manuel.
Here.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. All right, we have no announcements, proclamations, or presentations this evening. We will move to appointments. We have one appointment to the Transportation Advisory Board. City Council to appoint Waylon Menzia to the Transportation Advisory Board, serving as the high school student representative for a 3-year term to expire December 31st, 2022. Do we have a motion?
So then I'd mute Councilmember DeCourcy.
Deputy Mayor DeCourcy?
I move to approve Waylon Menzia to the Transportation Advisory Board.
Thank you. Do we have a second? I can't tell if anyone is.
So Councilmember Trout Manuel.
Councilmember Trout Manuel?
I second that, Mayor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor DeCourcy?
And unmute him.
Thank you, Mayor. This young man, Waylon Menzia, is a very active young man in our city. He's chair of the Junior City Council. He attends literally all of our council study sessions and council meetings, and he'll make an excellent high school representative to the Transportation Advisory Board.
Thank you. Council, are there any questions or comments?
Unmute all the council.
Hearing none, all those in favor of the appointment of Waylon Menzia to the Transportation Advisory Board for a term to expire December 31st, 2022, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Passes. All right, we do not have any agenda modifications.
No, Your Honor.
We do have a public hearing this evening, a public hearing for right-of-way vacation V1-19. Do we have any staff presentation?
Just a summary of the previous discussion with council. We did brief the council on this on February 10th. Staff is recommending approval of the vacation with several conditions, including reservation of easements for several utilities and dedication and construction of the alley access from the end of the existing alley out to B Street northeast, and removal of several driveways along the frontage of the parcels that they are going to be building a parking lot on.
All right, thank you.
Happy to answer any questions.
Council, do you have any questions before we open the public hearing?
No.
No. No.
All right.
No.
Oh, was there a question? No? All right. I will open the public hearing for the right-of-way vacation V1-19. Is there anyone that would like to speak to the public hearing for the right-of-way vacation? Please come forward, give your name and address for the record.
Virginia Haugen, 2503 R Street Southeast, Auburn. I believe this is an alley vacation, am I correct?
This is a right-of-way vacation.
Right of way, is it an alley? I can't understand what they're saying. This is virtual and I could not
It's an alley right
understand
of way.
presentation.
I'm sorry, Ingrid, go ahead.
It's an alley right of
It
way.
is an alley right-of-way vacation.
It is an alley,
It is an alley right-of-way
Thank you.
vacation, yes.
thank you. I've lived in Auburn for 56 years now, actually about 57 years. I have a little trouble getting around downtown, just finding a way to find parking at the hospital. Maybe, things are jammed up here on Main Street and I have to go around the block a couple of times to find a parking place, unless I want to walk 3 or 4 blocks. I think that vacating alleys is dangerous. I think if we have a real catastrophe, people are going to have a really hard time getting out of downtown Auburn. I know people who work in the hospital. I know business people who are near City Hall, and I think they will struggle getting out of Auburn. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone on the line that wishes to speak? To the, there's no one online that wishes to speak to the right-of-way vacation? All right, I will close the public hearing for the right-of-way vacation and we'll move to audience participation. This is the place on the agenda where the public is invited to speak to City Council on any issue. Those wishing to speak are reminded to sign in on the form provided if you are here in person, and we will also provide an opportunity for anyone on the phone for public comment. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Please give your name and address for the record.
Virginia Haugen, 2503 R Street Southeast, Auburn. I finally signed one of these sheets. First, I'd like to thank the mayor for actually appearing at this council meeting. I don't know if she was legally obligated or not, but I'm glad to see her in person at a council meeting. I've been dealing with people with face masks and rubber gloves and all kinds of things for several weeks, or well, about a week now. I am not afraid of getting a virus. I am tired of the hype. I'm tired of experts and politicians trying to run my life and tell me how to protect my own health and the health of others. There are many, many people making money, and some of my friends and relatives may lose their businesses and their jobs because of media hype and drama and politicians who want to tell everyone in the United States how to run their lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone online who would like to speak? Anyone on the line that wishes to speak for public comment? All right. Hearing none, did we have public, or we had written comment, Sean?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you want me to read that? Do you want to read that?
I can read it.
All right.
Bob Zimmerman, 33029 46th Place South. An attorney in the private practice who represents cities confirmed nothing can be done to correct safety violations that Auburn accommodates. We do note the local governments enjoy a substantial amount of discretion to enforce or not enforce codes. Several state legislators have looked for ways to address this issue, but ultimately the city of Auburn has the authority to ignore safety standards. My homeowner's insurance advised me to notify the owner and the city of the serious safety violations in our neighborhood. If the Backus administration is going to follow 21st century corporate management philosophy, promoting greed and economic development over safety standards, the council should set a maximum number of lives they are willing to sacrifice in a single accommodation. We have seen foreign authorities prompt the FAA to limit Boeing's sacrifice to 346. I am hopeful the council will limit the sacrifice to 0. If not, I hope to have this situation documented well enough, federal authorities prosecute the conspirators for arson and neglect homicide if anyone dies or homes are destroyed beyond repair. The fact that public duty doctrine did not cover the Washington state liabilities in OSO is very encouraging. The most disgusting thing that I have ever seen reported from a legislative hearing was the analyst in the 2019 session. Relaxing standards for wrongful death lawsuits, it would cost the state of Washington $600 million a year. That is over $500 million a year for sacrificing innocent lives to negligence. Why do we tolerate this level of negligence practiced by our authorities whose fiduciary responsibility is safety of our citizens? Why are local governments allowed to arbitrarily and conspiracially ignore code development by thousands of knowledgeable experts over the last century? Those codes have consistent peer review on a 3-year cycle. The narcissistic attitude of this administration needs to be addressed. Some of you campaign to make Auburn a better place. You have a significant opportunity to fulfill your campaign promises.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to council ad hoc committee reports. Council ad hoc committee chairs may report on the status of their ad hoc council committee's progress on assigned tasks and may give their recommendation to the city council, if any. Tonight we have the finance ad hoc committee with Chair Baggett.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Finance Committee, consisting of Councilmember Stearns and myself, reviewed about 156 pages of claims vouchers and wire transfers, consisting of about $5.1 million for the period 3/16/2020. Payroll vouchers also were reviewed in the sum of $2.4 million. For the period 2/25/20 through 3/11/20. We recommend that the council approve these vouchers. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving to the consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered by the City Council to be routine and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Do we have a motion? Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Councilmember Trout-Manuel.
I second that, Mayor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
And it consists of the minutes of the March 2nd, 2020 special council meeting, the minutes of the March 2nd, 2020 regular council meeting, and the claims and payroll vouchers as reviewed and presented by Councilmember Baggett.
Thank you. Are there questions or comments from council members? Hearing none, all those in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Passes. All right, we have no unfinished business or new business this evening, so we'll move to ordinances. Ordinance number 6759, an ordinance vacating right-of-way of a portion of the alley north of 3rd Street Northeast between B Street Northeast and Auburn Avenue. Do we have a motion? Councilmember... Is it Deputy Mayor DeCoursey?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve ordinance number 6759.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Council, yeah, if I could see when they raise their hand and then call it, and then you could click on that one, that would be great. Councilmember J. Raj.
I second it, Your Honor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor DeCoursey?
Thank you, Mayor. We had a public hearing on this tonight and a presentation by staff, and there are no issues with staff on this, so we recommend approval.
All right. Thank you. Questions or comments from council? All those in favor of ordinance number 6759, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Passes. All right, resolutions. Resolution number 5502, a resolution approving the lodging tax grant disbursements recommended by the Auburn Lodging Tax Advisory Committee. Do we have a motion? Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve resolution 5502.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Councilmember Malinga.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
Thank you, Mayor. The LTAC has recommended the award of lodging tax dollars as grant funds to certain businesses to enhance the economic development of the city of Auburn.
Thank you. Questions or comments from council? Hearing none, all those in favor of resolution number 5502, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say no. Passes. All right, we will move to mayor and council member reports. At this time, the mayor and city council may report on significant items associated with their appointed positions on federal, state, regional, and local organizations. We will begin with Deputy Mayor DeCoursey.
And thank you, Mayor, and I have no report this evening.
Thank you. We will go to Councilmember Trout Manuel.
I have no report as well. All my meetings were canceled due to this crisis.
Thank you. Councilmember Baggett.
No report, no meetings.
Thank you. Councilmember J. Raj.
Same here, Your Honor. Nothing to report at this time. All meetings have been canceled.
Thank you. Councilmember Brown.
I'm also no report tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Malinga.
No report.
Thank you. Councilmember Stearns.
Just one thing. We had a Washington Resource Inventory Area meeting. It was done remotely, and that was on Thursday. And we appointed and confirmed Lisa Herbold, Seattle City Council member, and Nancy Topsta, Burien Council member, as the co-chairs of the Watershed Ecosystem Forum.
Thank you. Right. And so for me, there have been continuing meetings. I'm not going to report on those tonight other than your City of Auburn team of directors, council members, myself, and others have worked a great deal to ensure the safety to the best of our abilities for the residents and for those who are in the City of Auburn. We are not treating this lightly. We are also not trying to raise panic or fear, but we are responding to the federal government, to the state government, to the county government, and we are doing everything in our power to ensure that we do not continue to spread the COVID-19 virus. And so that means our city buildings, our city facilities, closed to the general public this evening at 5 p.m., and that will be in effect for at least the next 2 weeks. The only exception to that will be for a city council meeting or a study session where the public is allowed to be at those meetings in person, but we will still continue to encourage people to call in or watch the live streaming as to do social distancing in a manner that will ensure the greatest deal of safety for anyone involved. We thank those who continue to work. Please keep in mind those City of Auburn employees who will continue to work on your behalf. Some of them will be located at City Hall. Others will be working remotely. But as you know, our maintenance and operations workers for both parks and for streets, water, and other storm and other utilities will be out working, as well as our police officers. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers as we work through uncharted territories, and may we all make it through and beyond this current crisis. Thank you very much. Councilmember Stearns?
Yeah, thanks, Your Honor. I just wanted to publicly thank you for your leadership on this. This is an incredible, really almost unprecedented kind of emergency, and the calmness and the courage that you're exhibiting really, really helpful to us. And I just also wanted to say that my wife and I, our family's hearts go out to those who are affected by the coronavirus emergency, and that we hope everyone out there treats each other with kindness and compassion. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Stearns. Yes, first and foremost, take care of one another. And as I said, we will make it through this. Councilmember Trout-Manuel.
Mayor, I also would like to thank you for how quickly you have stepped up and taking care of our people in our city. Also, I would like us to all think about the nurses and the doctors who are working in our hospitals and in our clinics, because they're first responders to whoever walks in those buildings, and they're doing a fabulous job from what I have seen. So I just want to thank you again for your leadership, as our other council member Stearns said. So everybody take care of each other out there and take care of your neighbors.
Thank you. And you can always go to auburnwa.gov for the latest information. We will have links to all of the official information. We also use all of our social media outlets to provide you with that information, and we will keep you posted on a regular basis. We are planning to do video updates at least 3 times per week to share out with any new information that we have. Council members, thank you very much for your willingness to be remote and practicing what we are encouraging everyone else to do. I appreciate your work during these unsettling and uncharted times, and for all of Team Auburn, thank you. Be safe. We are adjourned.
Thank you, council, very much. I'm going to go